You can't sneak away. I see you.
Yes, I was just trying to adjust the light in here.
Oh, we have a few folks here. This is good. Greg Lars.
No Rod and Bonnie yet?
Uh, Not yet.
I mean, they know about it.
Okay. So we have Greg and oh, here's Bonnie. She's calling.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi. Yeah.
Um, yeah, Ron says please start the meeting. We're driving in now. And I thought it was today.
Oh, Harpreet is on now.
So there. Pardon? Harpreet is on?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be there probably in 5 minutes.
Great. Okay, thanks. I'll let everybody know. Okay. Bye.
Sorry.
It's okay. Bye. Okay, they're on their way. Bonnie and Rod are on their way. And Harpreet, thank you for coming. I think you had a travel plan today.
Yes, I did, but I'm able to make it.
Great, wonderful.
Can you give me
And I'm going to
like
try.
2 to 3 minutes really quick? I'll be right back. Within 2,
Yeah,
3 minutes.
sure, because Bonnie and Rod are going to be about 3 minutes, maybe
Oh,
5.
all right. All right. I'll be right back.
Okay, great. So, Greg, are you a neighbor?
Yes. I live on the other side of David Dolberg, so I'm 2 doors from the lot.
Okay, great. So I'm Charmaine and I take minutes for Land Use Design Review Committee. So I just getting everybody's name, John and Peter. So John, myself, and Peter are part of the Point Richmond Neighborhood Council Land Use Design Review Committee. And Tim, are you a neighbor too?
Yeah, I live next door.
Oh, great. Okay.
Next door to the site.
I got you
next door
down.
to Greg as well.
Okay, great. So we just have to wait a couple minutes for everybody to be ready.
I might have to pop in and out of video or audio. I'm actually working right now, but I'm
Fine.
paying attention to everything.
That's fine. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens by the end of this meeting, though, shall we?
I wasn't able to hear you before, but I can hear you now.
Hey, David.
How are you?
One foot after the other.
Great. Thank you, Greg, for attending.
Can you hear me, David?
Yep, I can now. Hello, Harpreet.
Hi, David. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you.
So I just got an email from Rod. He's saying that he's on his way home. He's getting home late from work, so please start the meeting without him.
Right. Well, I don't really want to start the meeting without him because we'll have to review again what we said. So
Right.
I can summarize that some of the main issues from the previous meetings, things that we've been discussing, I can give you a quick list of those things. The house foundation, where we were interested in how the actual building will be done on the house, and the retaining wall, the oak tree near the property. It is oak, right? It's an oak tree. I wrote down that it was oak, yeah. That we have to make sure that it's saved, and the orientation of the building, which is something new that came up in the last meeting, that it could be changed a little bit, and the possibility of a fence. Are we still talking about possible fence, Harpreet?
Yes.
Okay. And the stairs as part of the retaining wall, I think those were stairs associated with the retaining wall. And then the water drainage plan. So all of those things we've discussed a bit before, and we should have some plans about those things. Do you agree with my list, Harpreet?
I do. Yes.
Okay, fine. And does anybody have anything new to add, just so we know in advance? Yes, David.
In going over the plans, I was looking at the elevations and I noticed to my surprise that the elevation of the grade where Harpreet's house is going to be built is 5 feet higher than the present grade at the median of my yard. So compared to the median of my yard and the grade at the bottom of her foundation, it's like 5 feet. And in trying to figure out why that is, I realized, well, she's building this retaining wall, the second retaining wall, sort of cut and fill, and then putting the house on top of that. And so the house sits 5 feet above the median grade in that, both in my yard and also in her existing lot. And that just seems so, one of the issues was privacy, but I think Harpreet will describe what she's come up with regard to privacy. But the other is just, having the house that high above the median of the yard is sort of imposing. So I was thinking, well, why, if she dropped the grade about 3 feet, it would also mean less retaining wall for her and less load on the lower retaining wall. And it would be less imposing in terms of the way that it appeared, from my yard.
Could you just restate for me? I'm writing it down, and the last two sentences I was not able to get.
Um,
The final conclusion, the suggestion.
Lowering the grade, the construction grade, about 2 or 3 feet would would lower her newly built retaining wall. It would reduce the load on the lower retaining wall, and it would provide a less imposing feeling from my yard.
So, here is the thing, David. I think we already discussed a couple of times on the text messages as well, and I have described over the email to Rod and Philip as well. So earlier, going back to the list, Taylor, we had a concern about the oak tree. Unfortunately, we cannot move the house because the lot is not steady enough and we don't have enough space to move the house. So we can't change the elevation. In order to save the tree, we came up with the plan that either we can talk to the specialist who do the planting and all, and if we can remove the tree and place it somewhere else on the property. Personally, I went over to some of the nearby nurseries and I just verified if they can do this thing. And they said, since it's very old, they have to see the, how the history of the tree is. If we cannot save it, I was thinking we can have another tree somewhere else if that was the oak tree concern. But when I talked to David, he said that the tree is not the concern, but the privacy is the concern because that tree is kind of a privacy between David's and my house, right? So it's on the property line.
Well, it's both the privacy and also the visual
Exactly.
impact.
So because of the privacy, I mean, I was thinking we are trying to save the oak tree, but that was not the thing. So we are trying to make more privacy. So in order to make the privacy, I was thinking we are going to either way have the fence, to which David said that fence is not going to help because fence is up to some height, right? So I agree that, okay, let's do a thing. We can plant more trees over there. It won't be the baby trees. It has to be the mature trees. We can plant it there because if we see logically, mine is going to be a single story home and David's is like, more higher and more windows and, so mine is going to be the more privacy concerns, to which I thought like, let's have more mature trees. So it will give me as well, the privacy as well. Coming to the third problem, he raised was this conversation was happened over the text messages, not with the last meeting, Taylor, just to let you know. He raised the concern that, there is a window on one of my room that is facing towards his house. I don't know if it's a storage or a house. So which he had a concern that it will give a more visual to his backyard from my window, to which I agreed. And I said, okay, let me do a thing and let me move that window from that side and move it towards the terrace. So either way, it's a small bedroom and I can just remove the window. It's not going to be a big problem. And either way, it's good for me too, because whenever I open a window, I don't want to disturb David all the time. Right. So anyways, I just removed the window on the side and I think we have updated elevation, which I just shared with Rod today. I shared with him earlier also. I can share with you guys now as well. Give me just a couple of minutes. And that was the solution. So with that said, so he will be having privacy as well. I will be having more privacy. That's what I can do, because changing the entire elevation just to save the oak tree because of the privacy is going to cost me a lot more. And coming to the
I'm sorry, let me interrupt you. The issue with the elevation is totally different.
That's different. I was talking about the oak tree, not the elevation right now. Yeah. So coming to the second point where we are talking about the retaining wall at the below. So that said, it's not the retaining wall. It's I don't know what's it called, that stucco wall. It's a wall which is going to be a wood wall. It's not with the rocks. So either way, that's going to hide with the trees and planting. But I think we cannot lower it. Definitely, I can raise this with my team again once they're back, because Arun is out of the country and he will be traveling back. But I already discussed this thing over the call with him, and he said because this lot is so complex that we cannot, change anything, because either way they have reviewed everything before the grading, and we have a grading specialist who has graded this a lot. So it's I mean, I can, because it's a privacy concern, just moving like 5 inches or 10 inches is not gonna either way hide the privacy, David. It's just our mutual understanding, because we have the fence, we will be having the trees which are little grown, not like a baby tree. So that will give us a good privacy for you and me, because even if I'm in my backyard and you're on your top window, I don't want to always say, hi, David, disturb you. I will always say hello, but just a thing, because you are going to be more hired than me, right, on a house site. So that is what makes things a little easier for me and for my team to move the project, because the slight change is going to cost me more, because each time I'm asking the request to my engineers, it's like taking additional cost, which I think you guys can understand. And let me share my screen really quick.
Hi. So Rod and Bonnie, you're muted, by the way. Can you hear me?
Are they on?
Yeah.
We're here.
Okay, great. So what we did is I reviewed the basic issues that we had from the previous meetings. And I will just say it one more time. It was the house foundation, the retaining wall, the tree near the property line with the next door neighbor, the orientation of the building, the fence, the stairs that might be part of a retaining wall, and the water drainage plan. Now, we started talking about a couple of different things. One was David suggested that the elevation of the grade is 5 feet higher than the median of his property, and it could maybe go lower. So that's one discussion to continue on. And then Harpreet was talking about the tree and that it was going to be difficult to save the tree. So she's exploring other options of protecting the privacy between the two neighbors, which could include a fence and could include other trees. So that's kind of where we are. And now Harpreet's sharing her screen to discuss more with us. That's where we are.
And one more thing on the privacy between David Dolberg and Harpreet is no windows on Harpreet's side is what she talked about.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sharing my screen. Earlier we used to have a window, if you can see my
Yeah, now there's no window.
Yeah, this was towards David's home, right? So we just removed the window from here and we bought on the towards facing terrace right here. That's not going to be a big issue, because either way it's going to give us a huge wall where we can place other stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it's good for us too. So that's what I was able to do. And other thing about his privacy was, like, let me share my screen. Oh, sorry, let me share that. Oh, it's stuck.
Speak. You're off mute.
Harpreet,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, the other thing that seemed important before in the past is, has the foundation issues been squared away? Are they now going to be more piers?
So yes, so it was always a piers, so it's going to be on the pier. So I'm not exactly sure how many piers, but definitely it's going to be a piers. And to hide those piers, we are going to have the wall. It's not a retaining wall. It's going to be a wood wall with the stucco on top of it. So that's what it is going to be.
On which side?
It's the below of the house.
Facing scenic?
Yes, it's going to face scenic. If you can see this wall, right? This wall. This is going to be the scenic, but it's not going to be that visible, because we are going to, it's kind of an entire stucco wall. And underneath that, it's going to be the pillars.
So that is what you've got highlighted there is going to be stucco over wood?
That's correct.
And that is
not
that's sort of the 5 feet that, the house is raised from the existing grade, and from the grade of my yard, 5 feet raised is where the house begins.
She's not digging into where the other retaining.
I am not good at reading this thing, but when I spoke to Arun last time, what he told me is that this is really very complex site, and if you're going to lower it more, it's going to be more lower. Like the roof is going to be exactly same as the terrace, so that's not possible to make it too lower. So that's what he said.
But what you don't have now, you said you're going to have a stucco wall and it's wood framing. Previously, it looked like you're going to infill that area, with a block wall, and then you were going to put dirt in. But you're not. That's going to be vacant at this time. It's going to be a dead space, unconditioned, unused space.
Either way, if we are going to have a wall instead of a stucco wall, inside it's going to be either way as it's going to be empty space. In future, if we want, we can use it just for a storage or something below the home. But that wall, it's going to be too heavy on the property if you're going to have that retaining wall below. So like our structure engineer, he said that it's good to have a stucco wall instead of a stone wall. Just replace it because that's going to make the house very light. And the reason I'm sharing this one is the trees we just have with the new plants, adding more trees towards David's home. So that's going to give us additional privacy. Earlier, we didn't have trees over here.
I think the more important thing is if the foundation is actually accurate.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you've seen that there's new piers,
Well,
and that's going to help.
We'll just put
they're
not going to have
wall on the street.
It's not going to have a backfill and concrete block. Okay.
Because to be honest, the lot, it's a huge lot. It's a 10,000 square feet lot, but the lot is not usable. Only like 2,000 or 2,500 lot is usable, and we are just building 1,200 square feet home. It's not a big lot because the issue is with the lot. We can't have a bigger home, and we can't move the home either, on the side, which Rod suggested to move the home from the property line because of the privacy. So I agreed to what David said because moreover the concerns was from him, and I wanted to make sure that he's happy too because we are going to be neighbors going forward. So I just made sure whatever I can do, which can save me my cost, and even I can cover his privacy concerns.
Rod, are you listening?
I am.
So what are you writing?
I'm writing on my leg. I'm not hiding it.
Oh.
I'll be right back. Sorry about it. Just give me 1 minute.
What are you writing?
What I'm saying is downslope, wood frame, and stucco piers.
Oh, okay.
More landscaping left side from terrace.
Okay, so you're just getting
I'm just making notes.
Okay.
You want to write anything down?
No, I just want to make sure that you need to ask any questions for the
and no window on
for the people that are here that are not on the committee.
I think that's David.
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
A few more.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Greg and there is
Tim.
Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just busy at the moment, but I'm listening.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
Well, actually, yeah, while I'm online, I'd like to know when you think it's going to start, how long it's going to start, how long it's going to take, anything to do with noise mitigation, and what's going to be done to prevent the condition of the road deteriorating, what sort of vehicles are going to be used in this project, and how often are they going to be here? Just stuff like that. How's it going to affect me, basically?
That's a good question, Tim. But to be honest, I'm not sure about the vehicles that's going to be in use. But I would say that it's not going to disturb the neighbors because we have in mind, it's from the city. Either way, it's a city requirement that when we start the construction, we have to make sure it's covered with the fence, which is going to be not the wooden fence, but I don't know what fence is called, just to make sure that the things are not going out of the property and it's not disturbing on the road. Anybody who's traveling the road. So
There's also work hours that the city mandates. So
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, see, I just came from living on a building
Instructors.
site for a year, so I'm a little edgy, to say the least, about being right on a building
Okay.
site again after only 6 months. I know exactly what it's like living next door to building sites. So, I'm very aware of the impact it's going to have on me. So I'm kind of, a little
Your
nervous
question,
about that.
how long it's gonna take?
Yeah, how long's it going to take? When's it going to start? All that stuff. Yeah.
It's all up to you guys. If you can give me an approval, I can start tomorrow and finish it as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's not funny.
Okay, no, but it's gonna take once we start the construction, our team has given a deadline of 4 months max, because we have a project deadline which we need to finish it off.
Okay. Are you listening?
I have a question. The sidewalk up on Terrace, if I'm not mistaken, it's in severe disrepair. Is that fair? And what about your project has anything to do with shoring up that sidewalk, leveling it, or anything like that? Is there any
And the street
going
as
on?
well.
Pardon me?
The street, Terrace, the whole street is collapsing. That's why the sidewalk is collapsing.
Oh, I see. Well, anyway, I was just curious if anything about your project affects positively the sidewalk in any way, or will the sidewalk be as we see it today at the conclusion of your project?
Yes, the sidewalk was a concern from the very first day, but our project is not going to affect either way, because if you logically see, the house is going to be towards the scenic, not towards the terrace. The weight is not going to be there, but we have asked the city, and we have already requested them to give us an answer that are they going to be responsible for building that area, because the house where we are going to build, that side, I think it's 15 to 20 feet, I believe. That's like, we need to fix it. During our construction, we'll make sure we patch it up, but we are not going to repair the entire street. But we have raised that concern with the city already, that what about the street, like the patches, wherever it needs the repairs, are you going to take care? We are still waiting for the response.
The issue, though, I think with the street, I mean, I'm not an engineer, but the street above the property is being undermined. The soil upon which the street was built is washing onto your property and then washing on down tunnel toward the house. And that's causing what had been paved originally, the street and the sidewalk, to collapse because there's no soil underneath it. It's washing underneath the retaining wall. So I don't know. I mean, it seems to me it's the city's responsibility, but it would be both in your interest and I think the neighborhood interest if the street, as part of this project, the city agreed to fix the street, which is like a major undertaking.
Let me reiterate that also an agreement with David is when that street fails, Harpreet, you will not be able to drive into your own garage.
That's correct. That's correct. And we already raised this thing to, Rod, and we are pretty much on it, because that makes sense. We are not, it's, forget about drive. We are not able to walk there, right? Even if it's going to be uneven. So I'm just waiting for the response from the city. If they require us to build that portion, so we are okay to do that. I just need to see how much additional cost is going to be. But as I said, I will be able to just repair those portions which is going to be in front of my home, just to let everyone know that I can just think of it and talk to the team how much it's going to cost. But I expect the city should be responsible for fixing those things.
Two related questions would be if the city agreed to repair it at some point, would that prevent you from using your garage? I mean, would they actually bring the whole sidewalk up
Yeah.
several feet and make your garage unusable. And my other question is, if the city of Richmond has no commitment, is not responsive to, what they would do with the street and sidewalk, would you probably intend to go ahead and proceed without knowing what the city of Richmond plans
So
to
I
do?
think without asking the city, we cannot proceed. We have to take a permission from the city even to fix the sidewalk. So that is where I was waiting for their response. And the engineer from the city, his name is Richard, is working with me already to get an answer. And if they are willing to repair, I'm so happy. If not, then we have to get a permit for it to repair. So we'll be doing that.
Oh, you definitely have to have the sidewalk repaired for you to proceed.
Yes.
And that repair is not just patching cracks, but is actually lifting the whole sidewalk up to its
I
original.
think the lifting is not that much, Greg.
Oh.
I think if I'm not wrong,
Okay.
that's not a huge space, but it's not going to harm us to, we are still able to access it. But if it's going to be more like, it's up to city how they want us to proceed with it. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. We're still on that because either way to access my home, we need to fix that thing. Either they have to fix or I have to fix.
The drop in the sidewalk and the adjoining street, you can see it on the retaining wall. The drop is about 4 feet at its.
I think it's not in feet. I believe it's
It's
in
like
2
a
inches.
parabola, and in the middle of the parabola, the maximum drop, it's about 4 feet.
4 feet from its original elevation when it was constructed.
You can see, if you look at the wall, you can see both to the south and to the north what the original height of the sidewalk was. It was right at the very top of the retaining wall.
Yeah, I think that's going to be exactly in front of my home, not exactly the garage side. The garage is going to be little on the other side of the house, right? So at that side, the sidewalk is pretty much fine, not that bad. But yes, the one you're talking about, David, I don't know if it's 4 feet I didn't notice it, but yes, it is little in this shape. I have to see with the city how we can fix it. And definitely it's walkable. We are not going to use, it's not going to be a car or something because it's in front of my home. So, yeah. I believe it's a bedroom window might be facing that part, I believe. But definitely not the garage.
Well, it really should be the city's responsibility, but we've seen another street fail, and their solution was to put a big barrier and close the street, and it's no longer in existence.
That's Richmond.
Then how I'm going to go inside my home?
Well, the people have to walk around the 3-foot diameter tree trunk they put down there as a barrier they actually close the street, and it used to feed off of Golden Gate.
Only 3 houses.
3 houses no longer had a back entrance to their house. Just, Harpreet, we realize you didn't cause the street to fail.
Yeah.
But you're the one going to be suffering. And there are people whose houses have garages that feed homes that are on the crest that are also going to suffer if and when that street fails.
The thing about this, it seems to me, it would be unfair to Harpreet to say she must, not proceed with her project until she gets a clear answer from the city. But it also seems like it's not unfair in that it is a protection for you, the applicant, and also for all of the neighbors. If you start having big trucks going up and down that street, who knows what's going to happen?
That's correct. But the thing is that answer is going to be from the building department, not from the planning. So the planning is not something taking care of that. That's what I heard. So we have to talk to building department about it and see how we can fix that. So once we are in that stage, because I've raised that question a couple of times, and the only thing is that once our application moves to the building department, so they can review and answer us.
When do you expect to hear from?
We are currently in the planning. Once we go to the planning, and then we have HCP, which is going to be next month. Once we are done with the HCP, then we will be moving to the building.
Yeah, she's on schedule for May 4th with planning department. Here.
So does the committee need to talk about this? What?
No, I think as far as the street issue, bring it to your attention so you realize we've given you full disclosures as far as what we know, and we have no control over that. And technically, you don't have any control over it either. And there was a street that failed, and they just closed it off. It's no longer in
Okay,
existence.
we heard that. It's fine.
Okay, are there anything in the neighbors that concerned that have not been raised?
Well, I think before you showed up, I brought up the difference in the existing level, the existing elevation of the median of the house and the new grade once the cut and fill takes place. The grade will be 5 feet higher than the existing grade and 5 feet higher than my yard, which seems like it would be, visually imposing to have the house that high in the air relative to my yard. It would also, by lowering it, it would also reduce the load on the retaining walls. And something else, but I can't remember what. There were several advantages, but I mean, particularly by removing that soil and dropping the grade, you're reducing the load on the retaining walls.
That's what I was talking to you, David, that the only concern about lowering it is going to be, that's not going to support the home because the lot is not that equal. So I just talked to Arun on the call yesterday about the same thing we discussed over the text message, that lowering the house because just of the privacy, it's going to give me, it's going to cost me, and it's going to be, additional work. I'm not sure how it's going to be just with the 5 feet lowering down, because the roof is going to be exactly parallel to the road, which just doesn't make sense. So based on what he explained me yesterday, that it's not a good decision to lower it down. And with you and me, as I said, that it's going to be your and my understanding, just because of the privacy concern, moving it down, it's not feasible right now. So we can just come up with the trees, as I said, we can have a fence, and it's going to be my privacy too, right? So I just removed the window as well from your home side. So that's all what I was able to do.
Right. No, I think what you've come up with regard to privacy, I'm quite satisfied with. But lowering the grade has to do both with the visual impression of the project, having this house sort of 5 feet above, where it should be. And also the advantage of lowering it is that it reduces the load on the retaining walls.
It's not going to be on the wall either way, right? The house is going to be on the pillars, so the weight is going to be either way on those, not on the wall, right? The wall is just to cover those pillars. So, but yes, I mean, I'm not technical, but what he explained was that it's not a good idea to, lower it down.
If I could clarify just a little, maybe it would help if you look at that section 2, section AA. You can see there that go back, don't change the view, stay on the one you were on. Can you go back to that?
To A21?
To the one you were on.
No.
Now let's go back to the drawing you were on.
I was here. Here.
No.
No.
There. If you look at that middle one, section 2, section AA, drawing 2, that kind of shows you the weight is coming down on the piers now instead of fill. So basically, the whole underside of the house is going to be open. And you can also kind of see in this, if they were to drop the house down, the back of the house starts to go underground.
Yeah, that's what I'm not technical, but what he told me that your roof, or in simple words, it's going to be exactly parallel to the road, which is going to be making it too low. So it's not a good idea.
Yeah. If you look on the left side there, that part of the house will start to drop underground if you lower the house in general. And with this design where they're putting piers in instead and transferring it down with posts, there won't be any additional load on the wall. So
All right, this is Rod. The on the drawing 1 of this same page, I see little dashed lines that look like rectangles. Are those skylights? Yeah,
Are you on mute?
These ones, right?
yeah. Are those skylights?
I think that's I'm not sure. I think that's the pillars. Let me see, what is it here? These are some dormer vents.
Oh, dormer vents. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was just going to say, if you have a skylight on that side by the Dolberg property, that you'd lose the privacy that you would have otherwise. But if they're just vents, then fine.
Yeah, those are the vents.
Okay.
Does the committee need to talk about this?
Bring it up.
So are we good with the foundation? Is everybody okay with what the drawings show for the foundation?
Well, it was okay. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, effectively on the downhill side, you have a 2-story home from visual, and on the uphill side, you're right at the grade. So, not having it filled in with dirt is good in that you're not putting extra load. It does mean, from a seismic standpoint, that you've got to make sure that that lower section that's unoccupied is sturdily built so it doesn't collapse and the house falls over. But that's for your engineer, not us.
yeah, and the drawing still describes that as a retaining wall, but I think what she's telling us is that's not going to be actual soil underneath there. So.
Right. Well, so what I have is the if we have no other issues,
Committee, if we should talk about
do we have any more things to talk about from the committee standpoint?
I'm going to go back to the original list. It's a couple pages up here.
Okay.
Okay, so the house foundation. Any other questions about the retaining wall? Do we need to go into that anymore?
This would be the street retaining walls?
Yeah, I think we were talking about the one on Scenic, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, if that's a street one, we already discussed that it's a fixable and we are gonna fix it.
Right.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean, fixing it?
We're gonna patch it up if wherever the patches are required, so that wall is in a good shape, so it doesn't need to be constructed from scratch. We can just put some patches around. When I say patches, it doesn't mean we have to put a patches the one you have already patched with our wall, right, with your wall. So it's not going to be the same patch. It's going to be like putting some, I'm not sure, but there are some cracks, so that can be filled.
Is this the wall that is leaning?
No, actually, our wall is not leaning. It's
Okay.
David's wall that is leaning, and it's pretty
Okay.
much outside. And he has patched it with our wall to make it secure. So our wall is pretty much in a good shape right now, and it's not, it doesn't need anything that has to be from scratch.
Okay.
The only thing is that the cracks that you have in that wall are the early stages of the cracks that I had in my wall. And, in other words, my wall is an opportunity to see what your wall is going to look like in 15 or 20 years.
That's a good thing, and that is where I hire an extra, an additional engineer who is specialist in Bay Area walls, who used to take care of the retaining wall, and he visited the site and he gave me a letter stating that the wall can be fixed, and it's good to go for a couple of years. It's not concerned with just for 15 to 20 years. So he said that whatever cracks we have, we can fill them up, and it should be good.
Continue, Charmaine.
Okay. Catching up my notes. Okay, here I go back up to the beginning. Okay, so the tree, I think we've discussed that enough, and David is open to the suggestions that Harpreet made about adding more trees, even though that one tree, it may not work out to keep it. And also she changed the window on the house for privacy. The orientation of the building was a discussion we had last time, and it seems that that's not going to change according to Harpreet. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And the next item is the fence. We didn't talk about that today. Should we talk about that?
What was the concern about the fence?
Oh, well, you said that you were going to put in a fence, and I don't think we saw it on the plans. And Rod said it had to be fireproof, and Bonnie said the neighbors had to share in the cost, and we had that kind of discussion about the fence.
Yeah, so that fence is either way, whatever the city approves, we have to go with it. We can't just put a simple fence on it, but I don't know what the cost is going to be. It's just not now on the numbers, but yes, there will be a fence and it has to pass the city guidelines.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I think the relationship between the fence and privacy, I think, is a moot point because, the fence can only go up so high, and the house is going to be the bottom of the house, the foundation is going to be 5 feet in the air. So that unless the fence was at least 10, 15 feet tall, it wouldn't be affecting privacy. But, I think that a fence is a good idea, but it's not necessarily a privacy issue. It's a visual issue.
The visual, see, David, as I said, that my house is either way going to be single story and yours is more higher. So if you're going to be on top of your room or, windows from your home, if you're going to peek into my house, so it's more visual than me because I'm going to be on on the side where it's not going to face either way any windows on your side. And from my fence, if I'm standing, it's going to be enough tall that we are not peeking at each other, right?
Right. Well, I mean, you should understand what I have is two separate lots. I pay two property taxes. The house is on one lot, and then adjacent is a separate piece of property, separate property tax, and that's where my yard is. And it's really my yard that's adjacent to your property. My house is one over.
No, I got that, and that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna put a fence, I know it's going to be more than 5 feet. It's definitely not 5 feet tall. I believe it's 7, because I was working in one of my friend was working in the city, and they had something. He informed me that it's going to be 7 feet, but definitely not 5 feet because that's not that tall. Either way, if I'm walking in my yard, it's not going to be visible to you, or you're going to be visible to me. Because either way, nowadays, I don't know if you're familiar, but the city is there is a guidelines of the fence. There shouldn't be a space where it will be too much close to each other, the woods or whatever it's going to be. So it's not going to be a space where we can see each other.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get a 7-foot fence other than industrial, but
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
think
going
you
to
have
say,
you have to be 6.
6 on sides and 4 on street sides. But all I'm going to say on our conditional approval is any fencing will require city approval.
That's what I was telling. Either way, it's not me, or it's going to be whatever the city requires. We have to follow the guidelines.
And in the future, you might also have to tear down a new fence if they actually decide that they're going to take in some of the
High fire danger.
the high fire danger risk that they are considering and has already been passed by the state.
Okay.
Just to
What
let
do you
you
mean?
know.
How do you mean, Bonnie?
Well, they just recently passed, actually last year in December, an ordinance about high fire danger areas. Now, Point Richmond actually fooled around with we are high fire danger for a while, but then they retreated from it. They might go back and reinstate it. Berkeley already has had that happen. And it means that there's no wooden fences. Nothing of fencing material can be combustible. So it's just that you'll have to know that maybe you should check into that when you come time to build fences, because otherwise you'll be having to rip them out.
Sure, makes sense.
Yeah. It's just like a warning to everybody. And there's nothing to say that the city won't change its designation of Point Richmond as a high fire area, because they declared it was for a while and everybody screamed and yelled. The other possibility of that is we might all have to do it anyhow, because insurance will become non-existent perhaps if you do not have that extra level of non-combustible material. It's also including a lot about 5 feet from houses and 6 feet, no living plants.
No, what kind of plants?
No living plants.
Living plants.
Yeah, essentially you have a fireproof barrier right up against your property,
Yeah.
so that you don't
And
have
hardscaping, 5 feet, hardscaping 5 feet high, at least a 5-foot level of hardscaping all around the house too.
Safe perimeter.
I mean, this is not written in stone yet, but the ordinance is. But who actually takes it on depends upon the city and how they designate their properties.
And or insurance companies that essentially
Yes.
say, you know what, with if you don't have so when you have your landscaping plan, as you've shown for privacy, and it's coming within 5 feet of your building wall, you might find your insurance company says, I'm sorry, Harpreet, you've got to cut all that down. So it's something to be aware of trends towards, when whole cities burn to the ground because of not having fire protection. That's when the insurance companies are starting to freak out. And we all should freak out that, if you don't have a good, safe perimeter around your house, you have a risk.
So I'm not clear. The design review is considering providing approval based on what Harpreet has presented, but if the city then requires, I mean, the house is 5 feet from the property line. So if the ordinance passes, requires a 5-foot concrete perimeter, that's going to come right up to the property line. She wouldn't be able to put in the trees that she's showing now in her plans and that she's suggesting. So how isn't that a contradiction?
Well,
that's why I raised it, David. Very, I totally agree that my observation, your observation coincide in that you if you put in landscaping that makes it pretty and then it becomes a big fireball, it's no longer pretty.
Okay, but at this point, that has not been instituted in the
Yeah.
city of Richmond yet. And it's just kind of like a heads up to you, Harpreet, because what you need to do is, know that that property might have to require a new investment down the line. And all of our properties might have to have that problem. But we cannot give you, we can't say that you can't be approved for something that is a possibility. What you can be approved on is what is now. And now trees and fences are allowed to be wooden and, well,
Well, and trees are allowed to be there.
trees are allowed to be there.
What I suggest is if you're already insuring your land and your project with an insurance company, that you reach out to them and ask them what they think you should be doing.
Well, they cannot give me the quotes right now because that's an empty lot. I mean, for the insurance and all. I mean, I think they need some, they have to have a kind of approval or, from the city, and then for the plans, and then they can give me some quotes on that. I'm not sure how that works. But right now, thanks for the heads up. But right now, the plans which I already shared with the city, they're pretty much aware of it and they haven't raised any concerns about it. So I'm not sure if it's going to be something that's going to be concerned in the future.
Yeah, don't count on the city watching your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So
well
thanks
known for
for
that
the
one.
Yeah.
In fact, they'll write in, well, no matter what happens, we're not responsible.
Okay, I'm going back to the list.
Okay.
The water drainage plan. Did we see a plan for the water drainage?
Well, I'm not technical, and I think that's already somewhere in the plans which were shared. And I think I have also shared with Rod in one of the email just for the drainage. It's somewhere here. I'm not sure exactly where is it. Oh, I don't know, Rod, if you got a chance to see just one of my email where I just had that one page sent to you and it has a drainage. I don't know if this is the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's the drainage?
Yeah.
Do you see drainage on that?
It just shows some cross sections.
So there is drainage. That is a drainage plan?
Can you expand the view of that so that we don't just like at the very bottom left? So the details.
I can't.
Go to the details that are on the left of the drawing.
Is this the one?
I think so.
Do you know?
Okay, so you have some French drains in certain areas. If we look at cross section CC on the left, you show a French drain. The problem might be they've got a French drain there, but they don't have a French drain on the other side. So if you take a look at the invert the L on section CC, make that blow that up a little bit more if you can.
Where's the cut for CC?
The bottom left of the drawing.
No, I mean in the main drawing.
Well, you can see the 2%, 2 to 1 foot max grade, and then you see this retaining wall, and then you see it says French drain.
No, but I mean, where is that? Where is the cut in the plan itself? Is it through the house, through the garage?
So cross section CC, let's go back to the right side of the drawing.
Yeah, there. CC, I see. Okay. Yes.
And now go back to the detail.
There you go. No,
Go left.
it's not yet.
Okay, there you go. See how they have a French drain going from the house. They have a French drain, but that retaining wall, if you're retaining dirt to the left of that middle retaining wall, where it says retaining wall, it shows 6 feet from the building wall. There should be a French drain on the opposite side of that. In other words, that retaining wall is going to trap water behind it, and that needs to be drained.
No, I
But, you
think
know, that's,
what, oh, sorry, oh, I think I lost it. Okay, I think what I was telling me, this is very slow. 1 second. So they were saying it's gonna be draining towards this side. Oh,
okay.
that's what he explained me when I visited with him on the side. He was like, the drainage, whatever the water, it's not gonna, this is acting a little weird. Okay. So what he explained me was that the water is not going to be stored here because it's going to harm the wall, right? So so either way we have a stairs here, but it's going to go right towards this edge of the property.
Okay. That's just anytime you have a retaining wall, the side that holds the dirt has to have a relief of draining the water that's behind, under the dirt. And otherwise, you plan on having a 65 pounds per square foot pressure on that wall.
I think that wall is already having those holes, but right now it's filled with dirt.
Yeah.
That needs to be cleaned out when we are going to work on the repair.
Yeah, and then the house, any of the new stuff. It's just right now, as they show the retaining walls, the drainage is not
sufficient.
it's not going to meet what the criteria is for draining wall French drains. So just say, I mean, but that's your civil engineer should be carefully looking at that. But whoever detailed this, you should show the retained earth and the open. I mean, you don't have to have a drainage if it's open. And what I see there is the French drain they installed was downgrading of the retaining wall instead of upgrading of the retaining wall. That's all. It's an issue, and I'll just say, we'll just put a note that the French drains need to be installed appropriately.
The harder place is probably going to be the downspouts on the scenic side.
Yeah.
That's the water that's very close to the existing retaining wall that
right.
They'll probably have to put some pits in or something.
Yeah, just
because all the water that hits the house right now is probably infiltrating.
Do they have any of those pits
and
no, pits would be when you build the house.
Bypassing the wall.
Well, those are the ones that disperse the water or break up the energy of the water, correct?
Well, essentially a drainage pit.
Right. So that breaks up the energy of the water.
Well, that's essentially how the water enters into the ground, not just a big rush of water going out, but dispersion.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now whatever hits the roof is going into the ground, and probably most of that bypasses the lower retaining wall. But once you put the house down and put rain gutters on that side, you're going to concentrate more of the water closer to the wall. So figuring out, I'm sure your engineer can figure it out, but that's probably the harder place than above.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't looked at that area when there's raining. David, any comment on, do you see terrace becoming a small river or anything, or nothing?
When it rains hard, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. It drains onto the property where you see the water accumulating is on Scenic and down tunnel. You actually get a little rivulet running right down tunnel, but it starts to the south of the proposed construction where it's narrower.
Yeah.
where the property is narrow. No, much further below, much
where it
further
pinches
down,
out.
all
Yeah.
the way down, all the way down, all the way down,
Yeah.
right around there. That's where the water starts to come out onto scenic and run down tunnel.
I think that's why he was saying that he's going to put something to get the water draining from this side towards the edge of the property. In short, he told me, but might be his engineer, so he might have noticed there is a drainage here or something. I'm not sure if he's going to.
But then where does the water go from there? Does it just mean there's going to be more of a river running down tunnel when it rains?
It'll be more instantaneous because of the roof. The hardscaping is going to not allow any seepage into the ground. And if you direct the water to scenic downhill, it's going to be more.
So is there some way, again, I guess I don't know if it's the city's responsibility, but perhaps there should be a street sewer right at Scenic and Tunnel to catch the water that's coming off the property.
Yeah, what we see some places is they'll actually put a culvert in, and it'll be a subterranean culvert. I mean, there's actually, when Western diverges and goes away from the bay, there is a culvert and there's collectors, drain collectors. There's actually a drain collector at the end of our street on Santa Fe and Western. There's a culvert that then discharges, and so there are ways where the city subterraneans what otherwise would be an open creek.
But would that be the city's responsibility?
That's a $64,000 question. All I know is that a lot of those were put in when you develop a whole area. You've got to put in those water drainages, but when you're building one single house, they're usually exempt from that.
But I mean, whether this gets built or not, there is, a little rivulet coming off the property that runs down tunnel, and it's going to be exacerbated by this building of the house. So, I mean, this, in a fair world, the city would have, would step up to the plate, but I just don't know since it's Richmond.
Take a number, David.
They're actually really careful these days about making sure you keep all your water on your own property. So I think if wherever this has any impact on the drainage, they're going to be careful about making sure it doesn't.
One of the nice things about the site is that, as Harpreet points out, there is a substantial amount of square footage running to the south, so that, and there might be some system set up so that all of the water collected from the house and garage can be directed to the south down the property and absorbed.
Yeah, that's what he said, David. That's correct. That the water will be running towards edge of the property.
Right, but I mean, quite a ways to the south, not just.
So instead of draining towards scenic,
right,
easterly from the house, you drain, and I think Harpreet said it will drain to the south. And what John was saying is, you put in drain pits that are like gravel or old rubble or something, and then they're buried, and so you have like a cistern to essentially absorb some of the rainwater that comes off, so you don't have a surface flow that then just flows right off the property. You don't have to make a little pond, but effectively you're making a cistern reservoir that has some open space that allows it in. percolation into the ground.
But we don't see that on the plans.
That's true.
No.
That's a lot of detail at this point. Yeah.
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 Normally that'd be an engineering drawing that
Thanks, John.
but we'll just say that con some form of containment for runoff of the building needs to be incorporated. What's that? Pip. Alrighty.
What's next on the list?
Okay, there's one more item on the original list that I started earlier, and that's just to continue the discussion about the stairs. There were some stairs as part of the lower retaining wall, I believe. I may have it wrong, but there were some stairs having to do with a retaining wall.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
go to a patio,
well, there's stairs that went right down to scenic.
Right, right.
but did it not also go to a patio area?
They came from a patio area. Yeah,
Oh.
they're right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's right here.
Is there concerns about that?
Oh, there they are.
Okay, what I'd
This
ask,
shows the house over the stairs, which is incorrect.
No, that's not gonna be over. We have enough space that's gonna be when you come right from here, it's gonna be towards this side, so it's not gonna be over the stairs. But because it doesn't make sense if it's over the stairs, right? We can't utilize it.
Except right there, that's a balcony that'll be up in the air. You could actually have stairs underneath it and probably still clear them.
So are the stairs not actually decided upon yet? Is that not accurate to the plans that we see?
No, this is accurate. The stairs are gonna be right here. But I don't know, it's not gonna be exactly underneath, but I believe that there's gonna be a space right here for us to utilize our front yard and something right here. I think John seems to be very technical, so I think you can read this very well, but I'm not sure. It's not definitely not going to be underneath, or the house is not going to be top of the stairs.
that small rectangle is a porch that's not. Does that have a wall that goes all the way down to the ground, or does it have piers?
No. This is the, oh yeah, okay, let me zoom it a little bit more. So this portion, this is the patio. The one you see here is the patio. The wall is going to end here.
Okay.
Let me go to the top one right here. So this is, the stairs are going to be coming under this one.
Show me which
Yeah.
one.
You got to shift the drawing over to the left a little bit for us to see. There we go. So the stairs.
Yeah, so stairs are going to be right here. So this is the patio. The wall is going to either end here. So this is the patio.
Okay, is it actually like a wooden deck?
Kind of a wooden deck.
Yeah, patios normally mean you're on grade.
The deck, yeah, that's.
So this is really a wooden deck.
And how big is it?
I think it's 5 feet or something. Well, I asked it should be minimum 5 feet, but I can check. I don't know.
That one you just had with the green, I think had a dimension on it.
Yeah, it looks. Oh, I didn't see it change.
Yeah, blow up that part there. No, it's
There?
a slope is 2%. But
Okay.
it doesn't show a width.
It's not going to be more than 5 or something, because this is just a small patio to just have some chairs, or, you know.
And it's entered from what room in the house?
That's a living area.
Uh-huh. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, that's your choice.
So what now?
Okay, Charmaine, anything else?
No, that was the list.
Okay,
Does the committee need to talk about it?
so do we need to have any more discussions?
I think we
Somebody's not doing well with their whatever.
covered all the issues
Charmaine,
that
you're breaking up. We
were
can't.
previously outstanding.
Charmaine, you're breaking up and we
Oh,
couldn't
you can't
what
hear
you
me?
said. Yeah,
We could hear you, but you couldn't make any sense. It was all breaking up.
Oh, can you hear me
Now
now?
it's fine.
Okay, because my somehow my
Yes.
Zoom
yes.
stopped working and then it came back on again. So what I
Oh.
said was we have gone through the list and I think we've discussed all the outstanding issues.
Okay, I think we have two. Is there anything more from the immediate community? That'd be Greg and David and is it Tim?
Yeah. I don't know if Tim's here anymore.
Okay.
David's
Well-
not on anymore, is he?
I don't see him.
I don't know. I think the only thing that I would think of for the committee to talk about is we have an applicant who wants to start her building, but we also have a set of plans, unfortunately, that hasn't got all the questions answered and in
What question's not answered by?
well, I guess we have them all answered. It's just that it doesn't seem to, she hasn't been able to explain it because she doesn't have her engineer explaining it.
Yeah. What this does is we end up with a conditional approval. If you do this, and this, we conditionally approve it.
Yeah, no, I understand that the engineers are not here, but I think the drainage part was more technical, Rod, and I believe that's something John was able to answer. And, I mean, I'm just assuming that, he has a very pretty much good sense of reading these plans. But apart from that, the more concerns were from David. That is nothing between the engineers. It was between me and him. It is a mutual understanding of having the privacy, so that's the main concern. And the drainage part or the other stuff, it's all about the city approval and as well as some technical stuff which my engineers can answer definitely. But apart from that, I think more over the concerns were from David that I have already taken care of and he is already satisfied with it.
So should the committee vote?
So I'll just go through the list and we can say, is there something conditional standing still? So house foundation, the piers and the grade and all of that, is that okay?
Rod?
Yeah, the foundation is now a pier with a wood stucco lower wall.
And the retaining wall, we're okay with that?
Going to be repaired.
Yep.
Yep. And the tree we talked about, and we're okay with that. The
Yeah,
orientation of
can
the
I-
building is not going to change.
When I can say the north side
Go ahead.
landscaping and north side landscaping and or fencing needs city approval.
Okay, say it again, please.
North side landscaping and or fencing needs city approval.
Yeah, and just to let you know, Rod, before meeting you, I have already shared those plans with the city a few weeks ago. So they didn't raise any concerns.
Okay.
And the Richard from the city planning, he was about to send me an approval. He has sent me over the email, but not right in the written because I have to go over some things with him. But he didn't raise the concerns for the landscaping.
I think that's Charmaine
Thing about
talking.
the fence.
Okay, you got to.
Okay, so
That was
okay,
murky.
yeah,
We couldn't hear what you were saying again.
Yeah.
okay. Back on the list. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Now.
Okay, fence. Where the fence is not really planned yet,
Right.
so we'll just say okay for that. The
Yeah, we just say need
stairs
city approval.
need city approval. Okay. And do we need to say anything about the stairs?
I don't
No.
so, no.
No. Okay. And what do you want to say about the water drainage plan?
It needs
Yeah.
to be expanded.
Well, but I essentially said drainage needs on-site retention / pits.
Say it again because I didn't get
It's
that.
actually there in that drawing. The pit is
What was that,
actually
John?
there. If you go back to where you were just viewing, it's marked as a 9. Oh. Go up just a little bit more. Right there, you see the 9? It's just
Yeah.
on top of the screen. It's got a flow line marked in it. That's where the water's going.
And it's going to the scenic.
Well, it's a pit. It looks like they're digging a pit there.
That little X thing, it's a
No,
circle and X.
But isn't there going to
It's
be
near
like
the
that
top of the
one here?
drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Needs
can
one
see the
down
flow
here,
line
too.
going down to it.
Let's take a look at the notes on this drawing for
I
note
can't see the
9.
note 9, but 9 is probably it's going to say it's a drainage pit sometime.
Can you read it?
Connect the 4-inch storm drain pipe to 6-inch trench drain, daylight storm drain pipe, and surround with cobbles to reduce erosion. But the way he's got that going, we're going to be diverting that water to scenic. Were we happy with that, or are we going to ask them to?
Boy, I'd be surprised if the city lets them do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, normally you want to have an intrusion basin so that the water that comes off the building doesn't just sheet flow off the building or in a small little streamlet, but instead disappears and goes underground.
And down here at this
And-
end
and
of
so-
the property too.
So
before
now
that
it's
happens.
going to the east. What we're suggesting that the drainage goes to the south, to the unimproved portions of the property.
Otherwise,
Is
isn't it
that
better
how
to-
you understand would be the preferred, John?
Well, I'm not sure on the details of it, but I think we could just say conditioned on retaining stormwater on site.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. And perhaps,
I
mean,
think just the way it, the drainage on that side of Point Richmond, there's so much problem with that. I think all the new construction on Washington and stuff, they were very careful about not letting a drop come off the property. So
well, also it would hit the retaining walls that they're trying to preserve too, wouldn't it?
Well, then it would drain through the retaining walls with their drain open. They have weeps on that retaining wall on scenic that aren't weeping right now.
yeah,
But if they
That's
what they
the problem.
open them up, they're going to drain more. I mean, the whole idea is that you don't have flash flooding. You are going to have slow weeping if you allow it to.
well, if you concentrate it in too much in one area, it's going to be an
Yeah,
issue
that's
for
why
a
it should
wall.
be taken to the other
Yeah.
part, like you say, to the unimproved side of the property. It has more it has more of a space to build what you might need to
Okay.
build underground.
Yeah, there's lots of options, but I think we could just say conditioned on
Yeah,
retaining the stormwater on the property.
yeah, that's a good way. So it's not going all to the street.
So Greg doesn't see it going into his garage.
Okay. So
Okay,
anything?
is that clear, Charmaine?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
just wrote down what John said, condition on maintaining stormwater on site.
Yes. Right.
So what I have is that the city needs they need city approval for the north landscaping. They need city approval for the fence. The stormwater needs to be maintained on site. And that's all that I have. Everything else is now okay.
Yep.
Yes.
So, do we approve?
Okay, so we conditionally approve. You want to raise our hand if you conditionally approve? Anyone opposed? Okay. So, Charmaine, you're gonna make notes and pass it on to the city, or you want to do it to me,
You
or
should write a letter.
or I'll
Rod.
do it?
Rod usually writes the letter. You don't
Yeah.
you write the letter?
Actually, Philip normally does, but
Well, why don't you do it? Philip's not around.
okay. Charmaine, if you can toss me your notes, I'll write a letter.
Yep.
Great. Okay, Harpy, we'll copy you on the letter.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Yay,
Okay.
Harpy.
Thank you.
Rod, if you have a minute, can you stay after a second? I wanted to ask you.
Sure. Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Everybody can run,
Bye.
except for John, Bonnie, and Rod.
Was Peter here today?
Yeah, he's right there.
Oh,
He's smiling. He's waving. Bye, Peter.
Bye, guys.
okay. Bye.
Okay. What's up? I mean, Harpreet's waving, but Greg, you don't have to stay on anymore. Maybe he's not even there. Okay. This is as private as it's going to be, I guess, John.
Okay, I
Unless you want to call me.
Well, I wanted to see on the house that's next to me, 707, when it went through land use, what's actually gotten built or what they're building right now is much, much closer than I remember when it went through the land use.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if the
So is this 707 and what street are you on? He's going to share a picture.
It's he's talking. He's on mute.
Yeah. You're on mute, John.
there we go.
Okay.
No, I was having a little trouble with the. Let me see if I can get the picture up. Hold on.
What's your address?
Hold on. Just let me get the share up.
Okay.
We're old. We don't multitask anymore.
No. Okay. Share. There we go. Share.
What does it say?
It says he's
So-
double click to enter full screen mode.
Can you see
There we
that?
go. Yeah, that looks pretty damn close.
Wow.
The eaves are
what-
close enough that they're standing on my roof to build.
What
the
street
fascia
are we
boards
on?
Golden Gate.
Okay. Oh, so this is
This was
up at the top off the 700 block? Yeah.
It was Stephen Harper or Stephen
Yeah.
Parker's. Yeah.
Is Stephen Parker still the owner?
No, he sold the lot and the plans with it.
How much space is there between the two houses?
Less than 4 feet.
That is the gray your house?
Yeah, the one on
Yeah,
the
these are
left is my
existing.
house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did
That
you
says-
bring
that
this
was
to
wrong.
building?
Well, they won't even let me look at the plans. I've had to do.
You can look at all plans by going into the city's website and looking at drawings, and they're there.
No, she said I couldn't, and she said I have to file a freedom of information at the
Who
building
said
department.
that?
Who said that?
Lena?
The woman at the building department said that.
Lena?
Said only the owner and the contractor can see the plans.
Okay, I will probably be able to find the drawings.
What I went to the fire marshal because that's my concern here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
That looks
said,
very
you
wrong.
know, I wanted to see at least if this had Class A fire, but I can see the fascia board is just plain wood.
The other thing about this is at this point, can you
They should be
you should be
6
able
feet apart,
yeah, this is
3 feet on each property.
yeah.
Well, mine is only 9 inches from the property line, so I had no
Okay.
ability to move
So it's hard
mine.
for you to complain, but
But yours is grandfathered in also. And
Yeah.
this is new construction.
So they went the 3 feet, I think, but with mine only being 9, you end up with less than 4.
yeah.
And
Oh,
you can
okay.
see the eaves are, if either house starts on fire, they're not going to be able to defend
It's gonna jump
And that's my egress down that side.
barely.
Yeah.
Then you have wood shake, which isn't really fireproof.
No, and on that side you can't see is the old asbestos concrete
Oh, you had
tiles.
asbestos siding?
Yeah, but on the lower level, we lifted this house up. I don't know if you remember this project. It's been over 10 years. We lifted the house up and put another story underneath. Well, we added a few feet to the story that was there, so it was habitable. But the historic preservation asked us to make the lower level wood. So,
Idiots.
and you can see all the exposed
Is
rafters.
it wood shingle?
It's wood shingled underneath it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, James M. Hardy was making a concrete shingle,
Yeah.
or I don't know if a steel shingle would be.
Yeah, it
that
isn't
much
shingle on
qualified.
mine anyway. It is lap siding,
Okay.
but it's just wood. I tried to use the concrete, and they wanted the wood.
But you're on the bay
I'm
side.
I'm a designated resource.
It's designated just that one street is.
Just the one side of that one street. Yeah.
But isn't that just the face side on Santa Fe on West on
No,
Golden Gate?
it's both
Not the
sides on
side?
Golden Gate. Yeah, on the 700 block, it's both sides of Golden Gate.
Eh.
Have you got windows on that side of your house?
I do. Yeah.
Are they completely blocked from light now?
Yeah, they're very dark now.
This,
Okay, dude, what's the street number for Stevens?
707.
707. Golden Gate. Well, because I try to remove some things from my emails, but I probably have this. And
I just thought if you had a site plan, so I could double
yeah, I
check
might.
that,
I
that
might.
we
he'll look up and
approved
see
it.
if he can.
I'll look up in the next hour and I'll
Yeah.
send it to you.
Because I don't know how long it'll take for the freedom of information. Like I say,
That's
No,
ridiculous.
no.
That's not.
You
it's
don't have
moving
to ask me.
along.
If I have it, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, because I'd like them, if nothing else, to make sure this is all that what they're putting on it's Class A at least. And
Well, the fire marshal should make that because if now
yeah,
we built a little cottage behind our other house on where we have a house off of Golden Gate on Morgan Avenue, and I put a little shed that went right up the property line, but I made it a 2-hour firewall.
yeah.
So
I called and left a message with the fire marshal. Nobody answered, so I went down in person. And you can't actually go there. Somebody comes downstairs. You can't go on that floor. And they took my information, but I've never heard back from them.
yeah.
So
Well, it looks problematic for sure.
yeah, I can't imagine
But
that's
you could-
40 feet with only less than 4 feet between them. I can't imagine they can defend this.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the fire marshal allowed it to go in.
Yeah.
Somebody got paid off.
Yeah, I mean, actually, oftentimes the fire marshal says, "Yeah, we'll get that through," but then we've raised a ruckus and not allowed things to get through that the fire marshal was all ready to take the $500 check that fell into their pocket. I didn't say that, did I?
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, they've just been so unresponsive about telling me what, but I can't imagine this is very defendable.
Well, and the more built it gets, the less likely it's going to be stopped and corrected.
Yeah,
That's the
and I
problem.
don't know what my insurance company's going to do when they see this.
They might uninsure you.
Yeah,
And I mean, technically, it just looks like a chimney for a nice, big, strong fire.
yeah. Well, especially the way the wind whips through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the other thing is the having the overhang actually collects the flames underneath
Yeah,
the
Is
roof.
this
and they
is this
ended up
person
right
building?
at the same level.
Is this person building by being on your roof to build?
They've stood on the roof to put that fascia board on it.
Don't let them do it.
Yeah,
Say no, no trespassing. You are at risk if any of their workers fall and injure themselves. You'll be
Yeah.
the one at risk. I wouldn't let them be there.
yeah.
Sorry, I sound harsh, but I would be
No,
to protect my
I
interests.
was
if
more
were you.
telling you as a tale of warning, as a
Yeah.
cautionary tale, because I'm surprised we approved this.
Let
And
me take a
that
look.
close.
I don't remember seeing something where it was that close to the building.
I can't imagine that it got approved. So it might just be that somebody is doing what people often do as they build here. Our next door neighbors did it years ago, and we put a stop work order on them because
That's
they
what
were not
I wanted
following
to
the
see what
plan.
the site plan was when we
Yeah.
went through land use and see what it is now and make sure that that's what they built it on.
Yeah.
They could be very well have been fudging the numbers significantly.
No, because I don't remember something being 4 feet off the next house.
No, that would be.
But one of the tricks is don't show the other houses.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think Mr. Parker was pretty good with that stuff. So
well, he was a real estate agent, so
yeah.
All right. Well, we ought to look up and see what he can find out.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, John.
I'm going
Thanks.
to make another trip to the fire marshal tomorrow and see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you've taken pictures. That's good.
Yeah.
But I would say no. If they want to be jumping on your roof anymore, say,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
We'll get
Thanks for
back to
your
you.
time.
You're welcome,
Mhm.
John.
Bye.
Bye.